Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and monsters, frightmares of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my co-host. What you sandpaper tongue, Jay? It is not nice to rub it in.
You're right. It's not nice, but it is fun.
Ugh, you're just like a cat. Anyway, this is a podcast about movie tie-ins for toy franchises, and this week we are continuing our deep dive into the Monster High series. This week we are talking about the fifth Monster High movie, Friday Night Frights. I kind of
Yeah.
got away from that Russian accent towards the end, so
It is tough to keep Russian accent.
it is tough to think about it. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, so Friday Night Frights, of course, named after Friday Night Lights, the.
Oh,
Yep. But yeah, this was released July 13, 2012, a few months actually after Skull Shores,
mm-hmm.
the last movie. And it's directed by Dustin McKenzie, who's one of the directors of Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love. So we already talked about him and his
Mm-hmm.
experience on the Hot Wheels TV show that probably led to some of the very dynamic animation here. This is written by Ted Zitzik and Mike Montesano once again, and we have music once again by Steven Argula.
Of course, as always.
So all returning people here.
Mm-hmm. And here's the plot. A team of Monster High students led by Claude Wolf loses a Skulltimate roller maze, or Scream, match against the Granite's High School Gargoyles. Most of the Monster High players are injured, and the Gargoyles take Monster High's school crest, the physical embodiment of the school spirit. And without the spirit, Monster High begins to crumble. So Frankie and the other ghouls get together to hold tryouts so they can win their crest back. Things go bad, and the ghouls end up deciding to form a team themselves. Because Scream is a male-dominated sport, they face a lot of pushback, including from Claude. Seeing how poorly they are being treated, Operetta also agrees to join the team, and the pressure of the sport causes the team to begin butting heads. But Claude realizes he was wrong and agrees to coach them. Ghoulia is able to reassemble Rebecca Steam, the first ghoul to be a Scream superstar, but who was destroyed a century before during a match. Russell Goyle, a ghoul who was secretly playing for Granite High, sees the misogyny of her team and decides to switch to Monster High. With their help, the team improves rapidly, rising through the ranks and winning most of their matches. Before the rematch with Granite High, Toralei, who is dating their team captain, oh, she was she? Begins spying on the Monster High team. She talks with Operetta, who is feeling held back by the team, and tells Toralei the team's quote-unquote secret strategy. And during the match, the Gargoyles cheat and destroy Claudine's skates. Despite this, the team rallies and pulls off a surprise win. And it turns out the strategy Operetta had shared with Toralei was a lie to throw the Gargoyles off, and the school crest is returned to Monster High, but they decide not to take the crest from Granite High, knowing it would it would just perpetuate the cycle of harm. And a year later, the Monster High team now includes ghouls on their lineup with the guys.
Yep.
It is your basic underdog sports film, you know.
Yep. Yeah, it hits all of the beats you're expecting, their early failures, montages of training leading up to more successes, and then their big final match. And I mean, it's kind of a toss up in the underdog sports movies if they win the final match or if they lose. But
Mm-hmm.
with this one, you can pretty much predict based on how things are going that they're going to have to win that final match.
Especially that if they lose, their school dies. Essentially,
Yeah.
it can somewhat be. It's almost like a league of their own, except if it was just one team full of women and not the rest as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
it is hitting all of these different tropes. I mean, it's doing it well, but it's not innovating anything here.
Hmm.
You can kind of guess from basically the first scene where this is going. Like
Yeah.
there are obviously certain things like certain characters pop up and you're like, "Oh, okay. I guess so." But like even the Rochelle Goyle, the girl gargoyle who defects over to their team, you can figure that out from the moment you see her because you're like, "Oh, she's wearing this conspicuous helmet and is shorter than the other teammates. I wonder what's going on there." Oh, wait, I don't because I figured it out.
Oh yeah, just her first appearance on screen, you're like, oh, look at that. She looks a bit feminine, and there's such implications on her observing her teammates. I wonder what's going on. Yeah, no, it's pretty obvious. Um, right. Do we want to get into it? The whole maybe we'll get into it later. But yeah, what is this sport? This skating sport where they go
Yeah.
around in circles. What is cheating? Is
So Scream is based on roller derby,
of
which I was
course.
actually doing a little bit of research into it. It's interesting. It's one of the few sports where there are more women who play than men or non-binary people. It seems to be a very like there are a lot of all women teams and all women leagues.
Hmm.
But yeah, the we don't really get a sense for how this sport works beyond that it's a race and that there are certain rules, but we don't understand what those rules are because it kind of seems like when they're racing, anything goes.
Except
But
breaking another team's rules with like things that pop out of your skates is considered cheating. But
yeah,
Abby using her ice blast to just do a similar thing is not.
yeah, no,
Laguna can swim further and get
yeah,
onto the other side, and that's not considered cheating. Uh, they're filmed, by the way, by Flying Bat, and so nothing's ever pointed out. It's like, oh,
yeah,
that's cheating. It's never really brought up.
yeah. It's just kind of those things happen, and it reminded me a bit of have you seen Alita Battle Angel?
I have not. No.
Okay, because in there they have I think it's called Motorball, but it's a
Mm.
similar sort of roller derby inspired thing. And in that one, it is literally anything goes. Like you could actively be trying to kill the other players, as happens in one scene, and the announcer's like, "Wow, this is a really exciting night." So it's like
Yeah.
there's just no rules at all, and everyone has like body modification. So there you kind of get it. But here again, since there is specifically mentioned cheating, it isn't just an anything goes type of game. We know that there are some kind of rules,
Yeah.
but and it's kind of a similar problem to other made up sports and movies. Like I was thinking about pod racing, um, because that is
Debatable.
yeah, it's when you're watching the movie, it isn't always clear what is allowed and what isn't allowed based on the rules of pod racing. But that's a scene. This is the whole dramatic arc of the movie is based on this
Hmm.
game that we don't really understand. And yeah, it makes it kind of tough to get invested in the team strategies. Like they have this whole thing of they're going to rather than trying to play like the boys are going to try and play like ghouls, but we don't
Nothing
really.
any different when they actually do it.
Well, the difference is they start using their powers, and so
Okay.
that raises so many questions because it is a good strategy, like using their powers to help them get ahead. But why isn't that against the rules? And if it isn't against the rules, why aren't the other teams doing it? Because the other teams also have powers.
Why is it is specifically a goal thing to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the I really like the subversion because playing like girls is usually a somewhat derogatory thing to say. So I like that they're subverting that and turning it around to be like, hey, what if that's a positive thing? I just wish I understood what it actually meant in terms of this sport in this movie and why what they are doing is different than from what other teams are doing.
Right, yeah. And so there is the other side of this whole thing in that the we are also faced with the biggest conflict of this film. Girls can't play sports, which is a really tired concept that's been utilized so many times, and really by the point where this film is aired, it's almost slightly outdated because at this point, girls are heavily involved in sports. The women's soccer team has probably won a World Cup at some point and are famous. We have the Olympics, so it's just not as strong as a conflict, and it's very forced and weak. Like you have Claude, who's just like, what? You have these characters who face these monsters and such, but they can't play a sport. Why not?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and just I don't know. I don't love it.
Yeah, it is as a conflict, it is maybe a bit too behind the times.
Hmm.
Like, yeah.
Really, I mean,
And I don't
sure,
know. It's
it
a good
probably still
message, but
happens once in a while, but like probably not in high school in a
well,
setting that they're in.
yeah. I think it really depends. But yeah, for Monster High, which is this place that's supposed to be very tolerant, it is odd to see the attitude certain people have. And we'll get into that when we talk about the characters, how certain people react and how it's a bit annoying. But
That's why we have a thing called men division and women division. Like either
yeah,
one
though
can
though
win.
here it's very clear that there isn't uh there isn't any need for any kind of separate leagues. And I mean, honestly, for a lot of intramurals, there isn't much, though. That's the other thing. How official are these screen matches? Is it like school sponsored? What's going on there? I don't know. I think though
How?
the
Why is
biggest
it that they
problem,
lost their crest in one match and yet they don't get any other crest when they win against the others? Like,
yeah,
what happened? Was it a
yeah.
year since that one match? Like, I don't know.
Oh no, no, because I mean, because they start out of like, here's what's this year, and then let's flash back to the story of last year. So, because
Hmm.
I think they say when the whole team gets injured, it's like, oh, we won't be ready in 3 weeks for the rematch. So, like, this whole thing is happening over the course of 3 weeks,
Okay.
which, yeah. But yeah, I
Hmm.
think one of the biggest problems ends up being the third act here, where because we don't understand the sport, it's very difficult to get invested in the last race. Because we have this subplot about operetta sort of leaking this strategy to Torley. We never hear what the strategy is that she gives over, or how they subvert that strategy in the final match. There's nothing there to indicate why this gave them an advantage.
What do you mean?
Like, what was the strategy that Operetta told Torley about?
That was a fake strategy, though.
Yeah, yes, but what was it?
I assume I'm gonna assume that their strategy was again their spin and build momentum to push the other one up, but do it
But that's what
sooner.
they did in the final match.
It is what they did, and I assume that they were gonna fake out with the first one and then do it again for the second one because all we saw were two characters come together, and that
Yeah,
was it. So
yeah, because it's like, what is going on? Does it have something to do with Claudine, and that's why they targeted Claudine? That would make sense if we're doing like, hey, we're gonna do this with Claudine, and then they end up being like, no, actually, not. But yeah, it's just like we don't know enough about what's going on to know why leaking a strategy would matter this much.
I mean, I don't know. It's their way of playing dirty.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Again, here's the thing though. I think it makes the last match less engaging because you aren't waiting for the strategy to show up or not to show up. There's no moment where the gargoyles realize, oh, Operetta lied to us. Whoops.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. The point is, our girls won by being clever or something, and
Well,
that included having
yeah.
Draculaura.
My thing though is like it still works, but the emotions are lessened because of it.
Hmm.
Where it's like it could have been so engaging and like if we knew enough about the sport to care about okay what is the actual strategy here. And I mean my guess is that that's just a lot of very specific world building that's very tough to do on what was probably
Hmm.
a pretty tight deadline.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, we get sort of this, but even then, if that's the case, if you have a tight deadline, then make the sport a little bit closer to real world sports, so you could just copy a real world sport rather than. But yeah, yeah, I
It
don't know
is.
that.
It is.
Yeah, I think a lot of the individual arcs in this movie work. It's just that there's that little bit extra missing of like the little bit of extra world building that could have really added a lot here.
Hmm.
Do you have anything else to say about the
I
story?
have nothing else to say than what I've just said.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a bit high for the criticisms I've given. It does work. It is in a it has emotional arcs and stuff. So
hmm.
yeah,
I also give it a 2.5. Really, for me, the thing that drags the score down, and honestly, I feel like this is probably a little bit high, is that darn girls can't play sports conflict. I am so done and tired with that stupid plot line. It's always forced. Like even the characters who are like, "Oh, you can't do that," they just don't seem like those characters at all. It just it's just dumb, and
yeah,
especially it's very outdated like today, but even when this came out it was kind of outdated as well. So I was dying throughout the entire film. I was like, "Oh, I hate this so much. I hate this so much." So yes,
yeah. I mean,
2.5.
it is still definitely an attitude some people have, but yeah, it is an overplayed trope. But yeah,
Mhm.
on to the characters. We're starting out with Frankie Stein, even though here she gets the team together, but she doesn't actually have much to do besides that.
Yeah, does she even play in a game?
Um, she plays in the first one where they get disqualified, and she probably plays during one of the montages. But yeah,
Probably.
she's not one of the better characters on the team or
No.
players.
That's just Frankie in general. Like she does something, introduces something, and then is forgotten, except for the last film. But yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, in the background we got to see the guy from the last film,
yes, yes,
Andy.
Andy. Yep. Once again, shirtless with a very very detailed Monster High crest painted on his chest.
Yes, good for him.
So yeah, I don't have much to say about Frankie here. She's not the
No.
focus. Draculaura gets a little bit more of an arc. Though it's kind of she's important to the first act and important to the third act, but she's pretty much missing from the second act.
Yeah, pretty much because the second act is I think we're introduced to a different character in the second act, but we'll talk about them
Yeah,
later.
yeah. We get a bunch of different people coming in, and yeah, this is definitely one where the runtime is one of the issues where we aren't getting. Ideally, you would have a full arc for Dracula where she starts out, she's like, "I'm gonna be on the team," then she's like playing through it and being like, "Oh, I'm not very good at this," and then at the end, you can have the catharsis of her being the one who brings home the trophy.
Yeah, because we
Here
kind
we
of
just
missed the
get,
middle part.
yeah, the
Because
middle
we,
part is probably kind of stapled on to the last part. It's like, okay, so she was very certain she was going to be on the team, even though she doesn't know how to play the sport. She's like, I'm going to learn. I'm going to do this. We need to do this for the school. And then at the last one, she's like, oh, I'm feeling like I can't do this, and then she does it.
and she starts out the race completely struggling. I'm like,
Yeah,
that girl better not win in the end because there's nothing that she's doing shows that she's doing any skill. Why did they include her? I get it, so she can have a
yeah.
moment. But like logically you wouldn't do that.
I do think it ends up being because she's a little bit like shorter and more and lighter weight. They're able to like push her farther.
No, see, that's just your head canon. They never said a single thing about that.
No, they don't say a single thing about that, but that's I think what they're going for.
No, it's not. They never said anything about them. Don't give them any excuses, Jay.
But yeah, one of the bigger things for me is that she really should have dumped Claude after what he
I
said to
thought she was
her.
gonna do that too, but it was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
because he gives her the ultimatum of either you break up with me or you
No,
don't
he said,
play.
I'm not gonna, as your boyfriend, I won't
Oh yeah,
allow you to
yeah.
do that.
So
Which,
she should have said, "Okay, that you're not my boyfriend."
right,
But
that
she,
seemed like the logical thing to write. I assume that they probably weren't able to do that.
yeah,
Mattel was like, um, no, we can't break them up. That's their whole toy line character arc.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like Barbie and Ken. You can't break them up.
Yeah, I think it is kind of left a little bit implied that she did break up with him because of that ultimatum, but yeah,
Right.
just kind of there should have been a bigger moment of that. And honestly, like they shouldn't have gotten back together so quickly. Like after what he said to her, which we will talk about more when we talk about Claude.
Yeah.
Like,
Every guy in that school, the exact same.
except
Yep.
for Jackson. Jackson's okay, even though he gets dragged off with all of the other guys.
I don't remember Jackson at all, but
He,
anyway.
he's the Jekyll and Hyde
Yeah,
guy.
I know, but I don't remember his moment in the film.
Oh, okay. He he's like the one person who's supportive, and then he gets dragged away.
Yeah, okay. Well,
But anyway, on to Claudine, who is also sidelined for a lot of this. But she gets her big moment when she lets Draculaura sub in for her in the last game.
yeah. Yeah, I wish they would help set that up more because when it happened, it's like, why though?
Yeah, I think it's their friendship and Claudine realizing that even though Draculaura says she doesn't want to play, this actually does mean a lot to her.
Mm-hmm.
And even you could do something with the idea of it's not about winning, it's about being a team and that being an important part of it. But yeah, that's just kind of left in the air.
That's both bad and good
Yeah.
messaging.
Well, it's good messaging for like yeah, when you're playing sports it should be about having fun, not about winning. But in this
If you
case the
have
stakes
the
are
opening to win,
yes.
do it.
But not necessarily at the expense of your teammates.
I mean, yeah, don't murder them at all, but like, take the shot.
Even like yeah, it depends, but also the stakes of this have been established as if they don't win, the school crumbles. So, which is not the case for most high school games. So,
In so which case murder is okay. We have to win at all cost.
well, apparently Scream involves murder because of the Rebecca who got murdered.
Oh, Rebecca. Oh, we'll talk about her.
Yeah,
Anyway, Cleo, who she was in this film.
yeah. She was very sidelined. I like that she did join the team, but then just kind of had her servants do everything for her.
Well, she joined the team and then quit the team as soon as someone was there to replace her.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously, she's Cleo. She doesn't want to be on the team. She she gets
right.
cajoled into doing it because deep down she is a good person, but not deep enough to not leave the team the
Peer
second
pressure
she
is
gets the
good,
chance.
kids, if it's good.
The peer pressure is good if it's good.
Yeah. Yep.
Peer pressure to do good things is good,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's bad, in which case it's bad.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, on to Laguna, who gets a lot of focus here. She's the most
Yeah.
experienced person initially, until
Mm-hmm.
we get a couple other people involved. And so she's kind of the team leader, somewhat,
Until Claude comes in.
until Claude comes in. Well, he's the coach, so Laguna is still kind of like the captain.
I mean, honestly, when Claude came in, there was no debate on who leadership was. It was just him
Yeah,
in charge.
which I take a little bit of issue with, but yeah,
Oh, so do I. To be honest, like, do they really need him? No.
yeah. I don't know. She doesn't have much of an arc. It was just kind of nice to see her get more to do, especially since last movie kind of undercut her arc.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of also got undercut a bit by Operetta, but
Yep.
you know,
That could have honestly been a really interesting conflicting relationship if they had had more time to explore it. Again,
sure.
this is a what 46-minute movie, so there's a lot of stuff that could really be expanded on and make it better,
Hmm.
but obviously they just don't have the time for it. Now, someone who I was really happy to see get an expanded
Oh
role here is
yeah,
Abby, who
yeah,
is
B.
yeah, no, she's just so great here. She's also one of the more competent team members. She knows how to skate because, as a Yeti, she has experience ice skating.
Yeah,
And yeah,
sure. Yeah.
her powers once again are some of the best powers in the series because she is constantly able to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Like she can freeze stuff. She can freeze the other team members. She can
She was freezing things
build
left and right in
bridges.
this film.
No, yeah. She's the one who the most of anyone I was like, wait a second, how is that not cheating?
Yeah, I mean, especially when especially when she froze the ice. Sorry, she made ice and let others just slid and fell down. It's like,
Yeah.
huh, okay.
How is that different than breaking someone's skates?
I think the difference is natural power versus illegal equipment, such
Yeah.
as blades at the end of your
But if
shoes.
someone had spiky ankles,
It's fair game. That's their genetics. Although, like, that's a very good question. Like, what if Rebecca Steam had those implants? Like,
yeah.
with those. Never mind. Like, let's.
let's let's move. Oh,
Abby,
Abby.
she had great lines. Like as
Yes.
always, it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love the one. Let me pull out my notebook because I wrote it down.
I mean, there's so many in this film. Just
Monster
it,
High looks worse than Mountain Goat in high heels.
yeah. I mean, you betcha. I like her skating strategy is just to break through all the walls and go through a straight line across the map.
Yes, that's a good moment. Julia's like, no, you can't. Speaking
Yes.
of, we have Inspector Gulia here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She gets put on the task of solving the mystery of what happened to the skates, and ends up solving the mystery of what happened to Rebecca Steam, the murder of Rebecca Steam.
Yeah, the skates are never brought up again. So,
No, we'll talk about that in a second. Oh wait, no, we'll talk about that now
yeah.
because I wish we had seen her actually get to solve that mystery. Because what if she had figured out how the gargoyles were cheating and then engineered better skates so they wouldn't need to have this subplot of operetta planting false information? You could just have what's their winning strategy? Oh, um, Gulia has invented these skates that don't break when someone spikes them.
That could be considered illegal again, like if it's
I have no idea because they make their own skates, so it isn't illegal to make your own skates.
do they make their own skates?
Yeah, they do because they go from the standard issue to the high heel ones.
Oh. Why do they have high heel skates?
My headcanon is that like the Barbies in the Barbie movie, their feet are naturally arched,
Oh,
so it's more comfortable. So they were having trouble with the regular skates. So when
I
they get
see.
so that's why they improve.
Of course. It makes sense to me.
But yeah, no, it's like you could have built something out of that, and that would have given Gulia a little bit more to do.
All she did was like put some pieces together and like, oh hey, by the way, here's Rebecca's Steam. That
Yeah,
kind of came out of nowhere. Like she
yeah,
found one pair of goggles in one scene. I was like, oh cool, what are those goggles? Oh, guess we're not going to find out what it is. And she finds
yeah,
something else, and then she just points to the clock tower that becomes a laboratory. And I'm so confused. Am I thinking, oh, is this how they're cheating? They have
yeah,
something in the clock tower? But no, that's she was putting the pieces together to build the body back, and it was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
well, that's
I
something.
wish in addition to that she had actually solved how the gargoyles were cheating. And either I mean getting them disqualified is not a satisfying ending. So having her do something to so that they can win.
How do the cameras just not spot them?
It's the speed racer logic of I guess they don't.
I mean, Speed
Because
Racer.
Speed Racer has a similar
Well, he had
thing.
to like rotate the car in a way so the cameras could see the hook.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway,
think
that's
it's
Speed
like
Racer.
yeah,
This is Monster High. Let's just move on, you see?
yeah. I think the other thing with Gulia is that because she's the one who's doing these strategies for the team. I wish we had gotten to see more of what those actual strategies were, or like at least a scene of
Spin
her
and
like
throw.
flunking down a rule book.
Yeah, all we saw was spin and throw multiple times. It's a good strategy, it
Yeah.
seemed. But still.
Yep. So yeah, next up we have Operetta, who is here very much defined by her independent spirit,
Hmm.
and she kind of has to learn to use that to benefit the team rather than just benefiting her own goals. Yeah, she has a huge character arc, which is learning to work as part of the team.
Uh, Not really. Like, I
That
wouldn't.
that's what
There,
they're gesturing at.
there wasn't really a resolution for that. They were
Yeah,
in the middle of a conflict, and Claude's like, oh, hey, let's tell Toralei about this. And then that's the resolution of her, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. I think it is missing that catharsis of she needs to have a moment in the last race where she sacrifices her chance to win so that the team can win. So
Sure.
have her have her be the one who like she does push Draculaura using her voice, but make that more of a she's like, hey Draculaura, you're lighter, so you'll be able to go faster if I push you with my voice. Draculaura could be, but don't you want to win? And she'll be like, no, you can, something like that. Something where she has to sacrifice her chance to win so that she can assure that the team wins.
Yeah, that would be better for sure. But Yeah,
I, I do like how this character is set up and how she develops and becomes part of a team. And I wish we had gotten a little bit more of her interacting with the team as like hanging out.
sure. Yeah.
I do also love that she talks about swinging on chandeliers, which is obviously a nod to Phantom of the Opera, the famous swinging chandelier set piece.
I haven't seen the show, so I can't say anything.
I haven't either, but I know of the chandelier.
Mm-hmm. I know the Chandelier song from Sia, um, but that's it's not the same thing.
Not
Speaking of
quite.
Sia, we have Claude Wolf.
Yeah, just horrible the way he reacted to the ghouls making their own team.
I was so disappointed because I felt like we had a similar lesson in the Fright On film with the vampires and the
Yeah,
werewolves, and it's like, what? Why are we doing this similar thing? Like, again, it stems of the whole. Here's the conflict that we need to have. We just have to have our characters do this because reasons, conflicts, and such.
yeah, yeah, and he ends up doing something that's a little bit not unforgivable, but he gets let off the hook for what he does way too easily.
Well, is not only let
Especially,
off the hook, like he becomes their coach. Like he just
yeah,
comes in one day and starts coaching them, and they're all fine with that. They're all
yeah,
smiles and giggles. Like there's no like resistance to that. There's no
yeah,
of them questioning his morality. They're just like, oh, they're just fine with it because reasons.
yeah. And it's especially disappointing for like with Draculaura. She needs to stand up for herself a little bit more. Like he is clearly not in a place where he is mature enough to handle their relationship
Sure. Yeah.
because he's kind of he's tried to control her and be like, "Oh, I don't want you to get hurt." But like, why? She's a vampire. How is she going to get hurt?
But like, okay, so like he says that about her, but what about the rest of the girls?
Yeah. Well, I think that's his thing with the rest of the girls. But then what about like the way we see this sport? This seems extremely dangerous for anyone, regardless of gender.
Right.
So why is he okay with himself and his teammates doing it and not with the ghouls doing it? The logic there, and obviously he isn't making a logical decision or having a logical reaction, but yeah, it's just very disappointing. I'm glad he
Mhm.
does eventually come around, but yeah, they making him coach is just too much.
Yeah.
If they were going to go that direction, he should have been supportive of them the whole time. Because you already have Heath Burns. He's a character who doesn't matter, so he can be the one that's being a creep about it all.
Sure.
So we also have Rochelle Goyle,
Yep.
who I liked her arc of getting sort of fed up with her team and joining the other side.
But like she wasn't really utilized after that at all.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
oh, we were building up to this tease, and then, oh, I guess now it's the time for that to happen.
yeah. She must have been a doll that they were planning on doing because I can't think of another reason to include her in this when you already have so many other characters.
I think that this turn should have happened like in the last race,
Yeah. Well,
because what
then
happened?
there isn't time for her to join the team, but she isn't.
Like
She's
she does
barely on the
nothing when
team.
she joins the team. So when you have it in the
Yeah,
last race, it's like, oh hey, that's the whole point of this film. This thing inspired this,
yeah,
and because she won, she's now joining the team. Happy for the future. Instead, she joins the team, and we're left to just forget about her. And
yeah.
so having her at the end just makes her moment bigger. But yeah, that's really the main.
Or even during the last match, if she gets fed up with her team and is like, "That's it, I quit."
Right?
That's a
Yeah.
big moment there as well. I am also this is, I mean, character design stuff. I am confused how no one realized she was a ghoul until she took her helmet off. It kind of, that the moment where she takes her helmet off is not, doesn't feel like a reveal because we're already 5 steps ahead of the movie by that
Yeah.
point. Like at least get it like a little bit, let her be a little bit bulkier so that it's a
Hmm.
little less of a foregone conclusion. Don't have her helmet with a giant ponytail sticking out the top.
Yeah. I was expecting so much more to happen with that character, and then she just kind of disappears. Which
Yeah.
is, speaking of which, let's move on to Rebecca Steam,
Yeah.
who steampunk,
Yeah.
steampunk. Hey, but like she's pretty. She looks really cool.
Yeah.
Just
She just looks awesome.
and just a good set of colors for that
Yeah.
character as well. It's just really cool. Interesting, bizarre backstory.
Yeah, she gets murdered.
She gets murdered for a century. Nobody. I guess they lost her body in the ring. It's like nobody found her at all.
Yeah, just completely destroyed, like blown to smithereens somehow. It would have been kind of interesting to see her backstory in like a flashback,
Yeah,
and it might have added a little bit to the story. But again, we don't have the time for that
yeah,
because we don't even have time for her as a character after she gets introduced. She just fades into the background. There's this thing of, oh, she can't skate anymore, so she's gonna. What if she had been the coach instead of Claude?
yes. Really? That's what they should have done. But like, she's in every other scene
Yeah,
after her return, but she doesn't say or do anything. She just stands
yeah,
there, smiles, and looks pretty cool, and that's about it.
yeah. I do like with both her and Rochelle. I think what I like is that they do eventually join the team, and they're in the team for like the last 1 year later scene.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But like again, she was missing through so much of
Yeah,
the third act that when that happened, it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're back to this now.
yeah. It would have been cool if she had been coaching the team throughout the movie, and then you could even, don't have Gulia reassemble her. Have it be her backstory is she got like destroyed, and then someone put her back together, and she's been hiding out in Monster High, and then they find her,
I
and
mean,
they're like, "Hey, can
that's
you
very
coach us?"
cliche as well.
It is
So
very cliche, but at least then we get an actual character, and then we don't have to have Claude be the coach, because Claude being the coach also kind of undermines the girl power message a little bit.
what happens to her family? Like, what are they thinking? Like, is she
I don't think
dead?
she has one because she's a robot.
I mean, someone must take care of her.
Yeah,
Like,
I
someone must
don't
have built
know.
her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's been a century or more, so more than that. So who
Yeah.
knows? Now, I didn't say who all the villains were here because they're very one dimensional, which
I
is
am
fine.
so done with Toralei. Like she's such a one-dimensional villain. Like if they don't have an antagonist ready for a plot or a conflict, they just go with Toralei. And she has no real motivation for any of it. She's just the go-to mean girl. And it's so pathetic. It's not interesting at all. And I'm so done with her.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me as much, just because I think these are characters, especially Torley, who serve a plot function, not a character function. But yeah, I can definitely, especially with this one where it's all about the school, and yet she's actively working against the school.
Didn't wasn't there like a plot or something, an earlier thing against the school with Van Helscream, and she had
Yeah,
to help out with that because it was against the school or something?
I don't think she helped out with that one. I don't know
I
that she was in Fright On.
I don't know.
Because that was
No,
Crabgrass,
no,
the
she wasn't
assistant.
in that one.
Yeah.
Either way, either way, like
I do also,
villains not very strong.
yeah. Here, honestly, since the sport is kind of the conflict, you don't need super complex villains.
The
You,
conflict is the misogyny in this.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. They could have made Heath Burns a little bit more. I did want to quick bring up Headmistress Bloodgood, who has the wonderful line of, "Hello, students, time for morning announcements. Oh, who am I kidding? We're all doomed."
Perfection.
Yeah, no. I wish they had done that for our school announcements
Yep.
rather than crackling static with occasional words.
Crackling static with occasional world. They kidnap students to record them each morning. I never got to record them in one morning. I'm bummed out about that. And like they reveal your birthday even if you don't want them to. It's a
Yep.
thing.
Well, quote unquote, reveal your birthday, as in they say it, but it doesn't get communicated through the system because the system is so bad that you can't hear anything.
I mean, they it was fine enough for people to know my birthday when it came up.
Okay.
So
John.
anyway, characters I gave a 3. That's probably a bit rough, but like really it stems from the whole girls can't play sports things that all the guy characters just are forced upon, and Toralei and whatnot. But yeah, that's
I
that.
gave the. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Again, I was really upset when I wrote all these scores. So
Yeah, I gave the characters a 3.5 out of 5. I think they are better than the story around them gives them space to be.
yep.
I am still, like, I'm disappointed in Claude, but not the writing for Claude, the character of Claude.
hmm
Anyway, on to the visuals.
Visuals. I don't think the visuals looked all that great when they were in the skating sections. Like
Okay.
there was just something odd about the character models and the coloring,
The
specifically in the
coloring, yeah.
skating
Yeah.
sections.
Yeah, I like the idea that the arena is like all of these different things, but we never got a sense for like what all of the obstacles were, or yeah. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
got all
in
new
terms of
character
like,
designs, which
yeah,
were fine, I guess.
yeah, the animation is very dynamic, and like the framing and the movement of the cameras works very well.
hmm
And it really suits this one more than it maybe suited Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, which is what we've kind of been saying the last few episodes of, or at least what I've been saying. Now, I did, after watching the movie, I did go back and rewatch some of the scenes from Alita Battle Engine, and I'm like, oh, those are actually even more dynamic, and I think I like those a little bit better. But compared to the Barbie movies, which the Barbie movies sometimes had dynamic animation, but
hmm
now here's a question that I have for you. The character models look so thin here. Has that been a thing that I've been missing, or was this one a little bit stretched?
I I think they were maybe a bit thin, and that could be the new character designs that they had.
I think it's the aspect ratio because I was noticing things look a little bit off.
Maybe I didn't really notice it for this one
Yeah,
or in
I mean
general.
the characters are extremely thin to begin with, and that's been one of
Sure.
the criticisms of Monster High as a brand. But
I was more so distracted by my frustration than actually taking a look at the animation. So, the one animation bit that I did take note of is that Draculaura, whenever they were filming her and whenever she appeared on the big screen, she was invisible.
yes,
I thought that was just a really fun detail.
yeah, and a lot of these new characters are really well designed. I think you're correct. You posited at one point that since a lot of the newer characters have been designed specifically for the 3D style, they tend to look better than the legacy characters. We got
Yeah.
Venus McFlytrap, who's sort of the poison ivy here, and her color palette is just really really good.
Yeah, she's also like the obligatory environmentalist that they're required to have in some of these kids stuff. So,
Yep. Yeah,
yep.
I was
She,
expecting her to play a bigger role based on the fact that she's like one of the first people we see, but no, she just kind of fades into the background.
hmm
And then yeah, we talked about Rebecca Steen, who just looks cool.
looks so cool. Like she doesn't even have skates. It's just steam that she
Yeah,
rides on.
yeah.
Like that's it's how is that
I
not
wonder.
cheating? But
No, I had the same thought as well. I wonder if there's a doll. I'm
oh,
gonna
there has
look
to be.
this up.
Oh, you thinking about it? The doll's
I
probably gonna
no,
disappoint
because
you, but
yeah, the doll would be super expensive.
oh,
So that
probably.
that is not.
Or would it?
Oh, yep, there is a doll.
hmm How much is it?
Oh, I'm on the Monster
50
High wiki
bucks,
to see if there
70
even is a
bucks,
doll.
100 bucks. Yep.
Yeah, that's maybe too much. Well,
hmm
definitely too much. I'm not gonna. I do like the little penguin, a little steampunk penguin. Anyway, I gave the visuals a. Oh, now it's loading. 3.5 out of 5. Now that's maybe a bit
I
too much. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
yeah, I continue to give it a 3 out of 5. That's my note.
Next up, we have the performances. I don't have much to say. As usual, we have pretty much everyone's the same.
hmm All doing
We
their
have
job.
new character. Well, Rebecca Steam is played by Julie Madalena, who also plays
hmm
Venus McFlytrap. And then Erin Fitzgerald plays Rochelle Goyle, who
Who's
she's doing an
French?
interesting accent. Yeah, I kind of wouldn't have minded seeing more of her
Yeah,
character to
I,
get a little bit of a sense for her voice, but
she
yeah,
sounded too much like Abby that it was very confusing while listening to her. It's like,
yeah. Which it is. Erin Fitzgerald also plays Abby, so
yep,
yeah. I gave the performances a 3.5 out of 5.
yeah, so did I.
Yeah. Last up, we have the sound. Again, not much to say here. The music was back to not always fitting some of the scenes.
I did enjoy the music during the races. I thought those were pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah,
The electric 80s sound that they
yep.
had. Kind of fun.
I think the specific score moment that stood out to me most was, oh, I think it was Dracula and Claude fighting.
Mm.
I think it was just not quite meshing with it, or maybe it was them making up. I don't know. So something about it. There was a moment between Claude and someone else where I was like, "Oh, this score just really is not working." And then I think
Okay.
later when Torale is spying on them, the music I also noticed was not quite fitting.
Hmm.
So yeah, I gave the music a 2.5 out of 5.
And I continue to give it a 3.
Yeah, we
Which
are.
we both have the same score here with a
Yeah,
15 out of 25, which is a 60% or a 3 5-star rating.
yep. This puts it. Looks like for both of us, it puts it right above Monster High Fright On.
I don't know how I'm going to rank all these films by the end.
Yeah, we're very close in score here because we've like, oh, you have the exact same score for the last four, or no, that's wrong. I'm looking at the wrong number there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
we're
know if I have
we're
as
within a
strong
couple
feelings
points.
towards these films as I do with like the Barbie or the Nolan films, so
Yeah,
it might be difficult to rank them. So we'll see.
yeah. I've been keeping a secret list on Letterboxd of my own rankings, but yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be tough once we get. I'm hoping we start to get a little bit more variation in terms of quality. Like I want to see one that's at the same level or better than Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, and I want to see one that's worse than New Ghoul at School, just for the contrast.
I just I want to see more stuff outside of the school.
Yeah, that
Well, I
that
get that the brand is about the monsters at the school. The school just isn't that interesting here.
yeah, they've kind of exhausted what they can do at school, and unfortunately, I don't think the next one will be leaving the school much. But there are a couple more travel-y ones coming up.
All right. But in that case, thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Twitter and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review. And we'll be back next week with an episode of Monster High, Ghouls Rule. Okay then. And until then, don't tell your significant other that they aren't allowed to play sports. Bye.
Bye, Barbie.